Wait. What's happening? For those of you, hold on, we have to wait first. There's a few people up in here. What's happening? Dolores? Dolores is always tapped into the party. Dolores. Hold on, Dolores, I'll be right back. Good morning, you guys. What's happening, happy people? What's going on? All to all my happy people, hold on. First, I know I typically do my videos different. So, for the sake of that, what we're gonna do is, I first gotta find it. Give me 1 second. Because I'm going to see if I can, hope everybody's doing well. Hope you guys are feeling good today. You give me 1 second. You know, I gotta try to play the intro song, but I first gotta find it. I have to first find it, you guys, and for some reason, I can't find it. Hold on, let me see. Give me 1 second. So, you know, the last day I talked to you guys, the day before yesterday, it's kind of crazy. I was telling you guys that things happen in threes. Good morning, CC. Good morning, Miss. Damn, I'm muted. Wait a minute. Y'all know I be going through this stuff, man. I'm sorry. Can you hear me now? Can you guys hear me now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I unmuted it. Hold on. What about now? What about now? Can you hear me? Okay, I'm good? Okay. I'm good, right? Okay, listen, you guys. Let me tell you something that happened the last day I talked to you guys. I said that this thing happens in threes, right? Now, we know Ozzy Osbourne passed away and a few other people passed away, but somebody dear to me and close to me passed away. Hello to my moderators, Cambodian Mystique and Cece. Let me say hello, Jazzy Harmony from Texas, right? No, Jazzy Harmony TV. What's up, baby girl? How you doing? Thank you for stopping in. Hopefully you subscribe to the station, to the channel. Styles, what's going on? Yeah, Raul M. Yeah, I talked about Malcolm Jamel Warner. I talked about him the day before yesterday when he passed, because I got a message from some family members that he passed, and also my police officer friend sent me the second text. So my brother Chill, and so I immediately woke up and talked about that because I had met him on more than one occasion. But what's crazy, you guys? Let me tell you what's crazy. I was talking about the things that happen in threes. When people pass away, it happens in threes, right? Right after I got off the phone, I didn't come back on. Right after I got off the live with you guys, I didn't come back on because I was in shock. I could have came right back on that day. But that same day, I get a call, and I kept telling you guys I'm going to do the interview with Brian Wilson sorry, Brian Wilson, and also damn it, Andre Wilson from the Gap Band 2.0. I said I was going to do that interview, right? But what happened is, oh man, it's crazy. Andre had been in and out the hospital. I knew he was in the hospital because Brian Wilson talked to me. So this is Charlie Wilson's nephews, his brother from the Gap Band's son. So he passed away the same day that Malcolm Jamel Warner passed away, but later that day he passed away. And so I was so shocked that I didn't get back on my live and talk about it. It tripped me out. Dre has been on tons of different records like that We Can Freak It song by Corrupt. That's Dre singing all the vocals on that and the background vocals. It comes from a musical family. Once again, he is a member of the Gap Band 2.0. And I got to say, I got a video of me in the studio with him working on a single. I'll post that video in memory of Andre Wilson from the Gap Band 2.0. I'll post that video of me in the studio. Actually, here's the weird part. No joke. I don't know if it was a sign or what. I was on my phone about a week ago, and I was going to send him that video to remind him of the song that we recorded in the studio. So it was me, myself, Andre Wilson, and Tim, my manager, Tim, who owns M&M's here in Vegas, right? So we were all in the studio, and I just came across it, and I was going to send it to him and Tim. I was like, y'all remember this memory? Because we had so much fun. And I was going to send it to his brother, B-Dub. And so when B-Dub called me 2 days ago and we talked, and he said, yeah, my brother's in the hospital, maybe 3 days ago, 4 days ago, I said, well, listen, keep me posted, and I'm going to keep him in my prayers. And then he passes away. Like I said, he had been dealing with health issues, but I just thought it was crazy. Love and light to the memory of Brian Wilson from the Gap Band 2.0. They initially, when they regathered the Gap Band 2.0, they actually came and they talked to me. B-Dub talked to me. He wanted me to be a part of the band. And initially I said yes. And then I turned around and changed my mind. But I was at the first show they did here in Vegas to launch the Gap Band 2.0, like reinventing the whole Gap Band brand with the kids, with them. They're the sons of the Gap Band. They're the nephews of Charlie Wilson, and their dad was in the Gap Band. So it was pretty much the revamping of the Gap Band. It was called Gap Band 2.0. Once again, I'll post a video in his memory. I got 2 videos I'm going to post. I'll post I'll probably just post one of him in the studio with me as soon as I find the video and us working on that song. And then a little bit of the footage from their live. I know YouTube's going to strike me on the music, but I don't give a damn. I'll let you guys see the last live they did together. I have that footage here in Vegas. The last live, but the first live for the Gap Band 2.0 brand, because it was going to be a new brand and they were about to head on the road and tour. And man, I didn't see him passing away, just like I didn't see Malcolm Jamel passing away. This whole thing has been crazy, man. That's why you got to love your loved ones. You got to love your people, man. This stuff can get crazy. And time is not on our side. Time is not on our side. Time is ticking every minute. We'll never get the 5 minutes back ago when I started talking. We'll never get that back. It's only the future, you guys. It's only the future. We're going to be older than we are younger, so we gotta really tap into that, man. And we gotta love. Let me get some shots out to some of my people that's on here before we get deeper into it. Boss Lady's in the house. Boss Lady, y'all ain't putting y'all states in no more like you used to. April, I can't say your state because you're not putting your state in anymore. Big Star, what's up, family? What's happening? Where you from, Big Star? Princess. Oh, man, Princess. I Andre Wilson from the Gap Band 2.0 passed away, Charlie Wilson's nephew. And I was going to have them. If you guys remember the video, I think it's like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, I said I was going to have the Gap Band 2.0 on here. I was going to interview him. Every freaking time I say I'm going to do that, this time it wasn't on me, y'all. I procrastinated with Angie, and I should have done it. But I didn't procrastinate with them. I kept calling Beat Up. I kept calling Brian. I said, we need to do this interview, man. And he was like, oh, we got to talk to Dre, man. Call Dre. And I was like, man, let's just do the interview. Why I got to call Dre? Why don't we just, I love you, Beat Up. But, man, come on, man. We should have done that interview. I was like, let's just do it. Like, he wanted me to call Dre. He's like, call Dre because Dre have to. And I was like, man, y'all shouldn't be this complicated for us to get an interview. I said, I'm trying to, help you uphold the legacy of the Wilson family legacy, man. Let's get this interview done. I don't know. It's the strangest thing, man. I don't know, man. I need to just really start making sure I lock people down when I say I'm going to do an interview. I probably need to just make their asses do the interview the next day because it's just been the strangest thing in the world. I have an interview this Friday with Drayton Boss from As Yet, from the R&B group As Yet. We're going to be interviewing, who's a good friend of mine. Him and I go way back. We're going to be interviewing Drayton Boss. I'm excited about that because I want to share his music with you guys. He's an incredible vocalist, artist. Oh, somebody just gave me some love. Boss Lady, thank you for the $9, man. Yeah, help keep the channel alive, y'all. Put some love on your brother, man. Help keep the channel alive. Donate is good. It just says that you appreciate me bringing this. But I interviewed Drayton Boss from As Yet on Friday, 11 a.m. Around this time, you guys, we're going to interview him. It's going to be fun. You're going to learn a lot about him and his history. I like giving people their flowers. These episodes are going to be called the Unsung episodes because the Artists and Producers Edition, because not a lot of producers and artists get their credit. I know because I'm one of them. And so I said, why don't I kick off this series of Unsung with all these people that I deal with in the industry that don't get their proper credit, that you don't know they might have wrote and produced on certain records. And my boy Drayton Boss and I have a lot in common, our histories, and there's some stuff he doesn't even know. So you'll know it once we get him on here and talk to him. You'll get to see some of the things we have in common that I'm going to surprise him with, because I don't think he even knows our connection with certain things in the past that we have together. Right? So we're going to have him here on Friday, and we're going to get Gene Anderson and somebody else donated. Lisa, thank you for the donation, Lisa. Thank you for the donation, Lisa. I appreciate you. And this means a lot. The donations help keep the state channel rolling, allows me to continue to do the interviews with different people and bring you this quality. Scorpio, listen, you guys, we're going to have to go grab Scorpio. Because she went on her vacation. Scorpio went on her vacation. She forgot. She like, the hell with everybody. Me and my family going on vacation. I'm about to enjoy myself. And well-deserved. You deserve it, Scorpio. I appreciate you. And I appreciate seeing you here because I was actually worried about you. And I was wondering what was going on. My moderators were wondering where you were. And I'm glad you're okay. I'm glad the vacation was amazing. I'm sure it was. Thank you for stopping in like you always do. One of my biggest supporters, I always have to give her shots out because she always keeps this station afloat. I keep saying station. I think your universe is wanting me to kick off my television station because I keep using that word. But my buddy, Andre Wilson from the Gap Band 2.0, Charlie Wilson's nephew, passed away. Day before yesterday, he passed away. And I didn't go on live yesterday and talk about it. I was still processing it. I haven't talked to his brother, Brian, yet because he's been so caught up with it. I haven't talked to him again. I talked to him 4 days before he passed because he told me he was in the hospital. And I said, well, keep me posted. Let me know what's going on. And then I look up and he has passed, you guys. So love and light to the memory of Andre Wilson. You can Google Andre Wilson. He's been on tons of different, records of other artists in the past. He was signed to many different labels. Like I said, he's part of the Wilson legacy. Him and Brian were keeping the Gap Band legacy alive with the Gap Band 2.0, which they had asked me to be a part of. I said yes. They did the first show here in Vegas. I will put a collage of some of the footage in his memory, and I'll put collage of the studio session that I did last with him, and we'll do that. I'll in his memory, I'll do that. I'll post a video of that, you guys. I don't know, you guys. This stuff is crazy, man. Life is short. This has made me look at my um, mortality. You know what I'm saying? And it just makes you think. Like we have a lot to be appreciative about that we're all here today, man. And I know that sounds rather cliche, but I'm just trying to remind us of our purpose. Like we have a purpose. So operate in your purpose. People, operate in your purpose. What this has done is really freaked me out about my interviews that I say I'm going to do. Now, this one is not on me. I'm going to say again, for all of you that are watching, I know that Angie wanted me to interview her, and I missed the opportunity by not being on top of my game and just making it happen. The fellas, I was on them constantly about this interview. Like, come on, man, let's do the interview. Okay, Stone, okay. Come on, let's do it when we're doing the interview. So this time it wasn't on me. It was on them. Same thing with Poo Poo Man. His name is Poo Poo Man from the Parliament, Gene Anderson. I've been talking to Gene. It's so much about Gene that I want to share with you guys. I want to give him his flowers as well. I keep calling Gene. I just called him last week. I said, Gene, come on, let's do the interview. Oh, okay, all right, Stone, I'm going to get the interview. How about next week? Come on, Gene, if you're watching this, we need to get this interview done. The reason why Gene Anderson is so important is Gene Anderson was Red Fox's first artist signed to his record label. His first artist that he signed. Gene Anderson was the first, and I think he might have been the only artist, maybe three artists, but he was the first that Red Fox signed. And here's a little bit of his story before I go off into the other stuff I'm going to talk about. Sonny Liston, this is how deep his story is, man. I love these stories. The boxer. Sonny Liston called Red Fox and told Red Fox, I need you to take care of Gene when he comes to Vegas. Look out for him, right? So Red Fox said, okay, I'll take care of him. So when he came to Vegas, hold on, somebody just gave me another. Scorpio. Oh, Scorpio just gave 10. She just gave you guys 10 memberships, man. Scorpio, what you're going to learn about Scorpio is she operates out of a place of love. She comes in here and shows tons of love to people that are not members. Now, those of you that are not members, she just gave out 10 memberships. So I suggest you guys get on top of it. I suggest you guys take advantage of it because if you're not a member, she just gave a membership to you and thank her for that. Thank her for that. Please do. This is what she does. You'll learn that. So Sonny Liston tells Red Fox to take care of Gene Anderson. Gene Anderson decides to come to Vegas, and Red Fox takes care of him. He puts him in the shows. He lets him perform. He lets him tour with him, henceforth him being his first artist. So when I tell you that this is going to be a lot of history when I interview Gene Anderson, it's like a history book. I'm excited. I think Gene is close to his 80s now, but he doesn't look it. But he's incredible with the stories with Red Fox and his history. So I'm working on getting him on here. I'm hoping by the end of this week, maybe Sunday, if not next week for sure. Now let's get into our story that I wanted to talk about, you guys, and we'll go back to our legends. I saw this thing online about, and they were saying on Instagram, like, ooh, be careful because now we're dealing with the jab. Now, we were all talking about the jab 2 days ago, right? And they were saying, okay, well, you don't have to worry about the jab now because they're going to be putting it in the meat. And this guy was saying, be careful with where you buy your meat from. Buy it from butchers, like neighborhood butchers, he was saying. He said, because they're planning on putting that jab situation in the meat. Something that everybody eats, most people eat all the time. And I thought it was interesting. I said, let me go do some research on this, right? Because I wanted to know. Because certain information, I feel if we just believe it to be true for its word, that's kind of dangerous, right? And like I said, I'm not here to scare people. I'm only here to give you the real information. But I thought it was interesting. So I wanted to go and find out more about it and see what exactly they were talking about. Now, I see the guy's point. He has a point in what he's saying. But some of the stuff I feel like could lead a person astray and freak people out and have people getting scared about the meats and us eating meats. And I was like, I'm not necessarily a meat eater. I don't really eat meat like that, but I do eat it sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Just depends. But people were freaked out about it, right? Righteous daughter said, they've been doing it for over a year now. Yeah, and I know about that, righteous daughter. It's in the tomatoes and lettuce too. I know about that too, which is crazy. So let me tell you how they're breaking this down, okay? It's called mRNA vaccine technology, okay? Now dig this. I said, okay, let me just see about this, right? So this technology is a subject of active research and development in the field of animal health. So they're saying that this mRNA is for the animal health, right? So if they're injecting it in the animal's body, it's for the animal's health. This is what they're saying, right? This is what they're saying. We're going to continue to read on. While several vaccines are in the early stages of development, there are no mRNA vaccines currently approved for use in cattle in the United States. The National the National Cattlemen's Beef Association and USDA spokesperson have affirmed that the USDA has a well-defined process to review and regulate the manufacturability, safety, and potency of biological products, including vaccines intended for use in livestock. Y'all see my eyes? Continue to read. One in mRNA vaccines called Sequivity was licensed in 2018 for the use in swine. We know what swine is. So we know what swine is, okay? So it was licensed in 2018 for the use in swine to protect against swine flu, they say. This vaccine uses a different form of mRNA than the human COVID-19 mRNA vaccines and does not utilize the modified nucleotides or lipid nanoparticles that allow the human vaccine components to circulate for longer periods in the body. Do y'all believe that shit? I'm just saying. Do you guys believe that shit I just read? Because, you know, they control the media. They can kind of say and do whatever they want. I don't necessarily believe it, but I'm just reading to you what they say. They say even if mRNA vaccines were used in livestock, they are unlikely to be transferred to humans through meat consumption. Here's why. They say it's unlikely to be transferred to humans through meat consumption. My Fu Manchu thoughts. This is my Fu Manchu thoughts. Do y'all believe that bullshit? Let's go. Continue to read. Degradation. mRNA is inherently unstable and breaks down quickly within the animal's body. Estimates suggest that 50% of mRNA from a vaccine is gone in about 20 hours and completely destroyed within a few days. Y'all believe the bullshit? My Fu Manchu again. Do y'all believe the bullshit? Withdrawal periods. Regulations require mandatory withdrawal period between vaccinations and when an animal enters the food supply. This ensures any potential vaccine residue is eliminated before slaughter. Do y'all believe the bullshit? Here we go again. I need to make this longer so I really want to be able to go out with it. I want to be able to go all the way out like the old Kung Fu movies. Here we go. Digestion. The human digestive system is designed to break down foreign materials, including mRNA, further reducing the likelihood of any transfer. Let me read that shit to you again. Digestion. Now, you just said it's not even in the shit, but then you turn around and telling us that here's a way that our bodies can digest it anyway. So it's like, just in case it is in there, don't worry, you guys' body will digest it. The human digestive system is designed to break down foreign materials, including mRNA, further reducing the likelihood of any transfer. Seems like the narrative is being controlled here to me. Once again, my Fu Manchu. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. All right, here we go. Therefore, even with the possibilities of future mRNA vaccines in livestock, it is highly unlikely that consuming meat from vaccinated animals will result in human receiving vaccines. I want you guys to understand what I just read. And remember everything else I read. It says, therefore, even with the possibilities of future mRNA vaccines in livestock, it is highly unlikely that consuming meat from vaccinated animals would result in humans receiving the vaccine. Now, dig this. Let's go back to the top and start over again. Here's a contradiction. Such bullshit. It said there are no mRNA vaccines currently approved for the U.S. in cattle in the United States. That's what it started off saying. Now let's go at the very bottom, what I just read. Therefore, even with the possibilities of future mRNA vaccines in livestock, it is highly unlikely that consuming meat from vaccinated animals would result in humans receiving the vaccine. Does that not sound like a contradiction? Does this reading not sound like a complete freaking contradiction of words? It's a complete fucking contradiction. Excuse my language. My Fu Manchu again. I need to really let this grow so I can be like, because that'll have an extra effect on it. If I do this, if I do like that, that's like an extra effect on it, you guys. Let's see something. Valerie Cole said, hi, Bridget. Okay, let's see. Rise said, but Africa, the cleanest and the highest birth rates. Teresa said, absolutely. Lisa Frazier said, dead on. What are you guys' thoughts on this? This article to me seems more contradictory than anything. What's you guys' thoughts on this? It seems like a very contradicting article to me. Like I had to go and figure it out because I saw the video on Instagram and I was like, yo, this is crazy. Let me dig deep and find out what this is really about. Now, I've already heard about it. I knew about it, but I wanted to, I'm looking at all the comments in this guy's video and he was very convincing. So let's say I'm the kind of person that might not do research. This guy would have been convincing to me. What about the people that don't read? What about the people that don't pay attention? These kind of articles worry me because there's a lot of people that don't pay attention. There's a lot of people that are not going to go do the damn research. It's a fact. But this article is a complete contradiction because it starts off saying that the mRNA has not been approved in the United States at all. Said it had not been approved. But then you go down at the bottom and it's saying, well, even if in the future, if this vaccine was implemented in the meat, that your body would break it down and you're not gonna get it. To me, that's like a coup, man. It's just like, you know, it's a play of words. So they can say later on, we ain't never said it wasn't in there. We just said, and we said if it ever. To me, it's a play on words to trick people. If you guys are meat eaters, I don't know. I probably wouldn't be buying it from, I don't know. I ain't gonna say no names, but some of those big chains that we all go to, I probably would consider going to a butcher and asking them, where do you get your meat from? But it kind of doesn't matter if you think about it. Because even the smaller neighborhood butchers, like in the barrios in New York, right? When you have I know growing up, we had a neighborhood butcher where we can go and they would cut the meat right there on the spot, whatever you wanted. But question is there's only so many places that these people are getting their meats from. Understand that and know that. There's only so many places that they're getting their meats from. I promise you guys, people love calling me while I'm on my live, and it annoys the hell out of me. Can you guys still hear me? Let me know if you can still hear me, because sometimes when people call me on my live, it cuts my audio out. Think about it. What is the difference between getting your meat from a big chain grocery store versus getting it from a butcher? More than likely, the butcher is getting it from the same fucking place. More than likely, if they're giving that in cattle, it's regulated by the federal government. So it doesn't really fucking matter if you're getting it from the butcher or the major chain. Think about it. If it's regulated by the government for these vaccinations to go in all stock, that's the government regulation. It's not like the butcher is going to have his best friend that can avoid government regulations as a farmer farming cows and pigs. The regulation is a regulation. You feel what I'm saying? And it's going to apply to every farmer, big or small. You know what I'm saying? Little Bobo's farm or the corporate farm. The regulation is a government regulation. So when they send them letters out to the farms, you got to follow the regulations, which means if there's a mandate for mRNA in livestock, it's going to also be for the place that the butcher gets his meat from. You can't avoid that shit. It's a government regulation. If it's regulated by the government, everyone has to follow it. Right, exactly. So when I saw the dude, right, so when a guy was on Instagram saying, get your meats from a butcher, like, and I mean, I like what he was doing, but I saw the comments. He's just don't trust the big chains, and I'm thinking, did dude not realize, was he just doing this for views on Instagram? Because did he not realize that same butcher is regulated by the government as well? Better start getting your own cows. But even if you do, well, see, okay, let's say you had a private farm, right? A private farm is not regulated like a farm that's selling to the public, because once you sell to the public, it's regulated by the federal government to protect us, supposedly. But if you had your own farm and you had your own livestock, that's on you. But if there's a sickness going around, the government could still say, hey, Mr. Little Farmer, yeah, I know you ain't selling it to the public. I get it. I know you're not selling it to the world. I get it. But we still going to have to give, we got to give those shots to your cows too, because there's a disease being spread. That's how they would get even the farmers that are farming for their families. There is a disease being spread. Now, listen, I know I've worked on farms growing up, even as an adult. If you go look at my videos, you see me on family farm. You see me. I'm just saying, I know some of the regulations. I sit back and had conversations about them. I've read so I can share with the family on certain regulations. I wanted to be in the know. I wanted to know everything about what's going on with farms. I was even worried at one period of time being on the farm through the years, going, whenever I was in Florida on the farm, I'd be sharing information like, hey, there was people going around throwing certain stuff on people's farms, causing their crop to die. Now, I'm not going to spit as to who those people were, but this stuff goes very deep. Chad Coffey said, do you know anyone of the SOS band? Yes, we toured with the SOS band, the Stone City band. We were on the Funk Festival tour. So yeah, I do. I know the SOS folks. I'm going to try to get as many folks as I can on here for interviews. My boy plays with Lenny Kravitz. He plays drums. He's here in town. I'm going to try to see if I can get him by here while he's in town so I can interview him right here on the couch in the studio. That's, you just made me think about that. He's here in town with Lenny for Lenny's residency. So I'm going to try to get him here on the couch to interview him. He's played with Lenny. He's played with a lot of people. Lisa Frazier said the government has implemented many regulations to use the chemicals. And if you're inspected and the chemicals aren't present, they foreclose on you. Yes, they do. Thank you, Lisa. Lisa know what I'm talking about. Thank you, Lisa. Valerie Cole said, growing up and my grandparents raised their own animals. The meat was, the meat just tastes so good. Teresa said, I have a friend that has a private farm and they have their own land. I know what they are feeding them. They have their own garden and feed them vegetables. Yes, that's the best thing, Teresa. Tell them to ship us out some of that meat, Teresa. Teresa Harris. Rye said, Dolores, you are Black Americans. Dolores, yep. As Black Americans, we need to have value for our lives and our communities so we don't be poisoned by, exactly. Listen, I was watching this thing this morning. They were talking about the lifespan of African Americans here in America. And they were saying that the lifespan of African Americans here in America is we are at the bottom of the bucket when it comes to living longer life because of stress and inequality and all that. And they were saying more black people need to move out of the U.S. And they were saying, black people that don't live in the U.S. live longer because of the food and the stress and the different the variable things we have to deal with being black. So special. Said I appreciate you and I hope you have a great day, Scorpio. Oh yeah, Scorpio, they loving on you. Dolores said you're right. Roberta Lane said Dolores Draper and Amish 2 are natural. Anyone living closer to where the farms are is good. Bet to buy from them. Yeah, it's good to buy from them. Yeah, because the Amish, yeah, they definitely do their own farming. Right? Said our community has food deserts and corporations have abuses. Yes, we need to get back. Lisa said, right on target, Stone. We need to, listen, you guys, we need to get back to gardening. Chad said, I have friends with someone in SOS band and we lost touch, but I can't remember his name. We were like 16 and 20 at the time back in 1987. Maybe I can connect that gap for you, Chad Coffee. Maybe I can see what I can do to try to connect you guys back again, Brother Chad. Third World Citizen said, hi from Kingston, Jamaica. That's my Jamaican brother. Third World Citizen. Blessings. Blessings, my brethren. Blessings. It's good to have you on here. Now, my brother here from Jamaica, he'll explain to you about harvesting your land. One thing about Jamaica, a lot of Jamaicans and Belizeans, they still believe in harvesting the land. It doesn't matter if it's in their backyard. They're going to plant some food because they were raised on that. And they understand the fundamentals of living off the land in every way. Official Washington, D.C. said, holy. Okay, official Washington, D.C. I don't know what that means. That I'll give you a few minutes to explain what that means, and I'll have to block you because I have to be, I don't, like, we don't really do the troll thing in here, so I just hope you explain holy, persons. Okay, I don't know what that means. If you can be more clear. Your title is Official Washington, D.C., so it seems like you have a lot of common sense, so I would hope that you would make sense of your message in here. That would be cool, or I'm going to have to block you, and I'll probably give you about 4 or 5 minutes to make sense of it, and I just have my moderators block you. Moderators, pay attention to Official Washington, D.C. If he doesn't give us an answer in 5 minutes as to what that meant, then just block him. I just have to be strict up in here because I'm trying to keep its quality up in here. People coming up in here for conversation and having a great time and not for the bullshit, okay? So I don't know what that means with the skulls and all that. You just explain to me. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm reading it wrong, but I'm going to give you a moment to explain. Dolores says a lot of people in Columbus likes to go to Mormon store. Yeah, I mean, the Mormons, the Amish, they still believe in planting. Right? Said it's time we have regulatory bodies run by our black men improving what our community needs. That would be cool if we had a person that would regulate in the African-American community and they travel across the country and they have these meetings in the black community about what we need to eat and if we're eating right. That would be cool. But how many black folks would show up? That would be the problem right there, getting them to come. CBG said, this is a great conversation. I have not ate meat in 6 years. I feel, wow, CBG. That is beautiful. Thank you for sharing that for everyone on here to see that you haven't had meat in 6 years is amazing. That's inspiring to me. Thank you for sharing that. You're going to make me up my ante now. Roberta Lane said, Mormons in the Amish farm, Stone. I have a small garden. I do container style gardening. That's what I'm talking about, Roberta. Come on now. Come on, sis. Let them know. Let's get back to it. Chad Cappy said, thank you. Dolores said, Amish people are all nature. If you look at the children, in the store. They're cleaner than any other children. Yes, they are. Benjamin Padilla, what's up, family? Say, hey, Stone, I just hopped on. I loved Italian food. You like Italian food? Hey, let me tell you something about, is it ITAL, Ital food? I think it's Italian food you're saying. Listen, Italians go to Italy. They got their gardens. Italians gonna have their little tomato gardens, their cabbage. Right? Said Muslims have habal, and Jews have kosher. Us Black Americans need our own certification on approved products for our community and consumption. And and make sure it's safe. I think she's saying, you're right, we do. Problem is, it's hard to get us to really, man, I know it's the same stuff that's been said over and over again, but the truth is, it's hard to get us to quite come together on these concepts of knowing that we need to do these things. We know we need to do them, but it's usually the elders or the Generation X that gets it. The younger ones are not quite tapped into it yet. And by the time they do tap into it, the bodies are going to already be too ruined from eating all that bad shit. Lisa Cappy says, Stone, did you know Niles McKinney, he played with Gerald and Eddie Levert, their keyboard player. He and I were very cool friends. He passed on Christmas Day. I sure did. And it's funny because I was talking to a friend about doing something. Well, I actually asked his friend how come he didn't do anything on him. So I was going to talk about him on YouTube, but I ended up not doing it. And thank you for bringing that up. I think one day I'm going to do a video and for all the legends that have passed from the 70s to now. It's going to be a long one, but give them their respect. Keyboard players, background vocalists in the Black community that have passed away, and you might not know what their contributions were. I'd like to do a whole little maybe documentary style video, and that's going to take a minute to put together because there's so many that none of you guys know about that I would have to throw it together. You know what I mean? Old Dirty Cosmo said, this man is a gem. Yo, Stone, it's Ricky. Appreciate everything you're doing for me, brother. Old Dirty Cosmo, Ricky. What's up, family? I appreciate you, brother. Man, thank you for stopping in and showing love, brother. It's so appreciated. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, family, so you know when I come on here, you catch me. And make sure you hit that all notifications as well, the bell and then the all notifications, so you can catch me when I go live. But Ricky, I appreciate you, family, and thank you for that, man. That means a lot to me. That means so much to me, man. It really does. Boss ladies say I grow my veggies in my country. That's how it went down. Boss lady, yeah, you got to grow them because we know when we plant, we know we're eating. But let me tell you what else I found out. I'll read this one more. April said, I'll check back in with you later, Stone. Work duties. Great topic as usual. No problem, April. Thank you. Dolores said, I meant to say a lot of people so Ohio go to, okay, because there's a big Amish community in Ohio. CBG said only positive, exactly, only positive here. Did you guys get rid of that Washington, D.C. person? Did they ever respond, CC and Mystique? If they didn't, get rid of them. Yeah, because we're not playing that up in here. But let me tell you what else I found out. In working with my family on the farming thing, I found out that the government you can get in trouble for shipping certain seeds, because they say that certain plants can cause other plants not to grow. I think this is their reason for saying it, but I don't think it's a legitimate reason. That's just my opinion. And certain seeds, the government will not sell. They hold on to a collection of seeds in case of a national disaster. They have every seed of mankind, but they don't like people shipping certain seeds because they're saying that certain seeds, if planted in certain places, can cause certain things to die. That's what's said, right? Now, is that by design? Is that made up? Is that true? That's the question of the day. So that I know that certain seeds, like you might be getting certain seeds that you think might be organic seeds. What I found out is they're probably not. They're probably not. You might think when you go to a store and you're buying a pack of seeds of certain things that is organic. I found out that sometimes Those are not organic seeds. I know I sound crazy, but I want you to just go research what I'm saying, and it'll make sense to you. Organic seeds versus the original seeds. Just go do your research. I'm not going to make none. I'm just telling you what I know and what I've researched. That some of the seeds that you get, you might think they're organic seeds. For instance, like you look at bananas. Do you think that should a banana have seeds or not? Let me ask you that question. Lisa Frazier said, Stone, right on target. Corey said, hi, Stone, I just got here. What in the meats? mRNA in the meats. But they're saying that the mRNA in the meats, Cora, does not bother humans. That like it only stays in there for 20 minutes or some shit like that, right? And then it dissipates. And if the humans eat the meats, first they said that it's not regulated. The U.S. has not approved it. But then further into the sentence, as I was reading, in that paragraph, it stated that, oh, and by the way, in the future, you know, if this is implemented, it's not going to hurt humans anyway. So why would you say you're not doing it, but then you're giving us a reason that it wouldn't hurt us? To me, that's like a contradiction. That's a contradiction. This whole thing that I've read is a complete contradiction. So that what later on you can say, well, we didn't say that we wasn't going to put it in the meats. We just said it don't hurt you and that it dissipates in 20 minutes. Did you guys get rid of that Washington, D.C. person? Lisa said, research is very necessary. Lisa, it is. And that's the reason I'm on here. Listen, the Angie Stone thing sparked a whole new fire in me. When Angie passed, it gave me a whole new purpose on top of my already purpose I have. But it gave me a purpose to realize when I saw her stand in her truth of speaking, knowing that she could possibly be putting herself on the line, telling her truth. It made me go, what are we all standing for? It's either you stand for something or you fall for everything. This sparked something in me. And I said, I need to I can't just be on YouTube just doing music. Although that's a big part of my life. And the messages I speak to my music are powerful messages. But I can't just be on YouTube doing music. It's more. The music will live on. I need to do more. I need to be responsible to share things with people that there's a lot of people that can't read, but they can understand what you say. Roberta Lane says, Stone, everything comes from a seed. The Bible says that so consume seedless foods is ridiculous. It's seedless. It ain't food. God is food. All comes from seeds, plain and simple. Okay, Roberta, so let me expand on why I say. Once again, that's why research is important, because people will say things, and I'm not saying Roberta's saying something that I agree with you, Roberta, but let me expand on why I say what I say. The seeds that you can receive can be modified seeds, Miss Roberta. I got love for you, sis, but I'm giving you some education on some real stuff. Now, biblically, I agree with what you're saying. I totally agree. But seeds are modified by those that choose to modify them for the purpose of whatever they choose, inbreeding seeds and all that. Do you really believe, Miss Roberta, that the seeds we have now are 100% organic and original? No, they're not. They're modified by the government for purposes. If you think I'm lying, go read. Go read. But I do agree with what you said biblically. Yes, we ain't talking about the Bible right now. We talking about what man do. We talking about what men do. Men can be tricky. So that's what I'm speaking of, Miss Roberta. I'm talking about the modification of the seeds. When I say the seeds are not like they used to be, which is why our government has a problem when people ship the real seeds, which is why they don't want farmers shipping out seeds. They regulate that stuff too. I know my family has a farm for years. I've sat and privy to the conversations and listening. They don't want farmers to even sell seeds. They regulate all that stuff. They want to know, why are you mailing seeds out? And they also started shipping seeds to the farmers to use. These are the seeds that we want you to use. Why do you think they're doing that, Miss Roberta? These are genetically modified seeds. change for what reason, though? That should be the question. Do your research and you'll find out that I'm not making this up. I'm not on here to just have fun at lying and making things up. I only share things that I know for fact because I read enough to know, or I've experienced it enough to know. Carnivore and Information said they are definitely crossbreeding and GMO. Absolutely. Carnivore and Information's facts. Valerie Cole said, man is something. Right? Said target on. Damaged Kisses says, now I'm going to lurk. Damaged Kisses. Chuck, I don't know what happened, but we're praying for you, Chuck. We're always praying for everybody on this channel. I like that Miss Roberta gets on here and she shares her knowledge. I appreciate it. This is what I want. These are adult conversations. We're in here to have great conversations, to share with each other and to educate each other. So I appreciate Miss Roberta even taking her time to share what she shared. This is important. Miss Roberta said, just as in the days of Egypt, done for depopulation measures, Stone, I've been looking into things such as this for past 25 years. I have also, Miss Roberta. I'm a musician. My job is to share knowledge through music, write songs that cannot just make a person shake their ass, but educate them spiritually, because my message will live on longer than our message as artists will live on forever. When we're no longer here, people can put on my record and hear the stuff I say. So I'm responsible more than the average person because I have a platform, and if I'm not properly using it, then shame on me. Benjamin said, when I was younger in the 70s, we are the same age group. Stone, anyway, the veggies tasted better. We all had gardens in the summers if you had your own yard. Yes, we did. Brother Benjamin Padilla, we all did, and that's a fact. Carnivore and Information said corporate America and pharmaceutical has an interest in GMO. Yes, they do. You know, I call GMO get money off. Get money off of people. It should have been GMOP. I call it get money off because that's all they're doing. Dolores said food is nothing like it was when it came up. When I came up, it was a lot of stuff. Nowadays, it tastes different. Yeah. I don't even eat fast food like I used to, you guys. I don't even eat fast food. Let me tell you something, man. Do you remember the time when a Burger King burger tasted like it's not bad. I don't even mess with McDonald's at all. Like, I don't eat McDonald's at all. I just don't eat it. Burger King, it still tastes good, but not quite. Every once in a blue moon, I get an urge because I like to smell up how Burger King charbroil their burgers. But when I taste it, it doesn't taste like, it have that Angus beef taste like it used to back in the 70s. It doesn't taste the same anymore. Dolores said not the same. Lisa Frazier said day. Barbara said if you buy ribeye steak, it tastes totally different. Well, yeah, hey, Barbara, is it me or is it you feel the same way, right? Something is in the meat. Something is causing the meat texture and tone and flavor to change. Shadows and Tails said, GMO is bad. Fruits are getting sweeter, some less flavor, aka GMO aims to make produce big and quick. Yes, and last longer too. Shadows and Tails, you are 100% correct. Dolores said, the only thing that I think is still the same is White Castle. Well, them damn White Castle burgers, I don't think they can even change them. I have tasted them. They still taste the same way they did in the 70s. Valerie Cole said, I thought it was just me with the fast food. Nah, I'm with you on it. Did you stop calling me? I think y'all should be doing that. The people that call me know I'm on a live and they purposely do it. Shadow and Tail said, just buy organic. Yeah, now it's going to cost you more to buy organic, but I'm with Shadow and Tails. Buy organic, you guys. Just spend the money. Shit. Lisa said, they got blocked. Who got blocked, Lisa? Was it the Washington, D.C. one got blocked? Who got blocked? Did the wrong person get blocked? Let me know. I'm sorry. Moderators. Lisa said they got blocked. Is that the person we supposed to block that we blocked? Yeah, don't harass the content. My moderators, you guys, please. Flute Bay said, right now cherries are on sale for $1.29 a pound at Albertson, and they are sweet. Flute Bay, do you think they're too sweet? Do you think they're beyond the way they used to taste? What's your thoughts on that? Do you think that the cherries taste sweeter than they supposed to? Dolores says, Stone, I mean, no disrespect, but when I did go visit my daughter in Vegas, she made me some stir fry, and I was like, that's not hamburger. Ooh wee. No, Dolores, no, I'm with you. Like, I don't know what that. Listen, I mostly deal with turkey burger. I don't mess with the hamburger stuff anymore. And my thing is to get far away from that as well. But I know we need certain forms of protein because the humans, is for so long in our DNA, we have inserted that. So when you pull it out of your DNA, the body can mechanically kind of do weird stuff sometimes. So you still need certain portions of meat. So you just have to find the things that can substitute for that same level of protein. Shabana said, the feeding of the farm animals also modified. Yes, you're right, Shabana. Whatever they're feeding the farm animals, but most importantly too, whatever they're injecting them with, because they feel like they're protecting these animals. Like I always thought, like growing up, we didn't hear about this. Do you remember in the 70s, you ever hear about them? Oh, we're gonna inject the cow and the chickens, and we didn't hear about this in the 70s until they wanted to experiment with the food source. And then we started hearing about this in the 90s, and we didn't hear about this in the 70s. We didn't have to worry about none of that. Now it's like, this is crazy. It's crazy what we have to deal with our food source right now. 803 MGTV, what's up, family? He said, if you remember correctly, there was a big uproar a while back with farmers and the government saying they couldn't have natural or modified seeds. Listen, 803. Thank you, family. This is what I was trying to tell my sis on here. The other sister that was talking about the seeds. I'm like, I know, because I was sitting there talking to family members about this seed stuff and the letters that have been received on the farm about this shit. So I know. You feel what I'm saying? Thank you, brother. They don't want the farmers to have the natural seeds or modified. But here's the catch. Who was modifying the seeds? It wasn't the farmers. That shit come from higher up. Lisa said, no, sir. Someone said about homophobic remarks towards you. Oh, man. Yeah, people, people come in here, It doesn't matter. If I have my hair out, they'd be talking about the curl. Right? I got my hair up. Now they say something else. You know what I'm learning? I'm just learning that people are just very unhappy with themselves. So they look at other people. That's why I feel bad for this younger generation. Because these younger generation, they get online and they unlifing themselves because people like that get online and bully them. And these kids don't know how to deal with it. And they unlife themselves over a remark like that. Because people would say something, mess with them and get in their head. That person is definitely somebody that's hurting inside. And so they wanted to get on my live and project their hurt. Well, I pray for you, whoever you were, because I didn't even see the remark. So that's good. Carnivore and Affirmation said they bred them to make them bigger and sweeter. Yes, they did. Tyre, hola. Tyre, what's going on? Did I say that right? Terrell. Is it Tyrell? Tyrell V. What's happening, family? John Cash, how old are you, bro? I'm 55, family. John Cash, I'm 55. 55, family. Yes, sir. Lisa said, thank you. Dolores said, I don't think Smith Hamburgers is a hamburger. Dolores, have you been picking up hamburger meat at Smith's? Come on, Dolores, quit playing with me. Hey, Dolores, you been picking up that hamburger meat at Smith's? You be cooking with that Smith's hamburger meat? Terrell V said, too much money in food. The food companies will do anything for profit. Facts. Tyrell, facts, facts. He say, they not here to care about our health, but about profit. I bet you they ain't letting their families eat that shit, Tyrell. How much you want to bet? Chef Vanna said hormone injections and anybody injected to the animals. Well, listen what they say earlier. So I was reading earlier, and this is what it said, Chef Vanna. Let me read it again. So this is what they say. It says, in conclusion, hold on. Okay, I'm going to read to you what it says. It said digestions and breakdown. Even if mRNA vaccines were used in beef, mRNA would be quickly digested and broken down by animals' immune system. And the human digestive system making transfers highly unlikable. Bullshit. Let me do my Fu Manchu again. Here we go. Bullshit. Y'all really believe that? I don't believe that. I just believe that's just some shit they're saying for the purpose of that article. I ain't buying that shit. Joyful Ladybug says, Stone, you inspired me. I sent you a IG today of the hill I have chosen to die on. What? And realize I will miss. And realize I will miss of the shots I don't take, thinking I'm not important enough to have an influence. Joyful Ladybug, what you say? I'm trying to understand it. She says, Stone, you inspired me. I sent you an IG today of this hill I've chosen to die on. I realize, Joyful Ladybug, you okay? Are you doing? Let us know if you need us to holler at you. I'm making sure you good because you used the word die. We ain't trying to have you leave here anytime soon, Joyful Ladybug. You do have an influence. Everybody's voice has an influence, sweetie. So you do make a difference. Remember that. Don't be talking about leaving this earth. You got a lot to do, Joyful, and your voice is heard, and we all appreciate you when you get on here and you share your thoughts. We appreciate you. Chad Coffey said, moments. Monsanto is a problem. Monsanto's is a problem. Yes, Chad. Speak it. Speak it, Brother Chad. Tyrell V said, it's a majority of bots. They be majority online. Are those bots? Tyrell, you think those are bots, family? Dolores Draper says, CC, that every time you look for chicken, look for ominous chicken. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on, Dolores, do they sell ominous chicken in the stores? But you know, the ominous, well, I don't know, because the ominous laws are a little bit different. So like, let's say there's a government regulation because of their religion, they're probably allowed not to have their chickens be injected with certain, you just made me think about something. Because of their religion, they can do an exempt. Like we will not allow our chickens to be injected with whatever the government says because they can base it on their religion. So you're on to something, Dolores, but I'm wondering, do they sell that everywhere? Educate me. Tyrell V said they're either bots, AI, or people pretending to be either one. Yeah, I feel like it's people pretending to be, Brother Tyrell. You know what I'm saying? Because the bots have to be activated by somebody to do that. So I think this is just some ninjas out here doing some weird shit. Dolores Draper said, you are welcome. We look out for each other. Dolores, I'm going to see if they sell ominous chicken here. And if they do, that's going to be crazy. Now, I know they have it in Utah. John Cash said, word. Yeah, brother, I'm 55, family. Tyrell said, you said it right. Valerie Cole said, Dolores, you are right. The chicken doesn't taste right because they have done something to them. I have a family member that owns a chicken farm. They own a chicken farm with tons of chicken. I was thinking about getting my eggs from there for a minute, but I know what they feed their chickens. So they actually bought a whole chicken farm. Dolores says, now when I was there, my daughter brought it and I was like, Smith's is Kroger's. So I'm thinking, because we have Kroger, is there same, Kroger is the same. But you're saying Kroger's might be the same as Smith's, same company? King Kunta said, I remake spaghetti with a skillet mix. Wow, interesting. King Kunta, I got to try that. I think, I think my cousin does that. Thanks for bringing it up, King Kunta. 803 MGTV said, in the UK, they don't let companies, especially fast foods or U.S. foods with chemicals in it. Fries out there are fries. They are totally, oh yeah, I know. I spent a lot of time in the UK. So I am always in love when I'm in Canada, when I'm in the UK, London, and I eat fries, bro. I know they're 100% fries. I know the food and the cereal, everything is the real deal. Brother Roger, what's going on, family? Welcome to the channel, family. Welcome to the channel. John Cash said, you got a butterfly chicken breast now. They're so, yeah, listen, hey, brother John Cash, listen, I looked at the chicken breast, man, the chicken breasts were huge. And it looked puffed up like it was muscle bound, like it had been lifting weights, right? I said, God damn, I said, this chicken breast looked like it's been, pushing some iron and shit. I don't eat it. I get scared. Terrell said UK has less people. Yes, they do. King 13 Twin said, I just hit. Where you hit that at? Did you just hit that in the casino? Congrats. Congrats. Become a member of the channel. You just hit that money. Oh, hey. Hey, King 13 Twin. Go and become a member of the channel, family. You got the dough, man. Come on. Congratulations, family. Rise said, last of the corporations and of FDA regulations until lawsuits drop daily. That's where we live. Yes, it is, right? Dolores says, Stone, no, when I was in Vegas, me and my daughter went to Smith's. She bought a hamburger. So I said, Smith's is Kroger's here. And we had Kroger's. So I was thinking it was going to be, yeah, that's what I was saying. You're saying it was the same company. I think the West Coast, what's going on out here is different than what's going on back there. It seems to be. It's weird, right? Terrell V said, basic economics, you have to cut corners to stay afloat. Always trade-offs. Yeah, unfortunately, that's true. Roberta said, I'm eating less and fasting more, plus increasing water distilled with a lot of Celtic salt for magnesium. Intake, drink sound juices too, trying to clean up my palate. Roberta just said something deep. Linda Gaberis. What's going on, Linda? Hi. Roberta said something deep. Fasting. Do you guys remember in the 70s, for those Generation X's on there, and the ones that are not, welcome to the channel, and you get to vibe with us. But do you guys remember in the 70s when we used to fast all the time? When our parents would fast, it was part of the culture. It was part of us. We fasted. We've gotten away from fasting, you guys. We've gotten away from the fundamentals of things that have helped us as a community. We need to go back to our fasting. I know I do intermediate fasting, every day. Let me tell you something. A year ago, I never in my life, the biggest I'd ever been, and I'm not saying big, because if I show you pictures, you'll see it in my face. I was out. But my body was, I was thick, but I didn't look fat, but I could see it in my face because when I gain weight, it goes to my face first. I was 212 pounds. Never in my life did I think I would be 212 pounds. I was like, what? So I started my workout regimen because I typically work out all the time. And I was still training in martial arts at that time. I didn't stop training in martial arts, but I wasn't doing the extensive training like I used to do growing up in martial arts, right? I started back training because I always know how to get my body back in shape, but it scared me that I was 212. Now, here's the thing. I was 212 pounds and I was having aches in my knees. Now, don't get me wrong. I can go back and show you can go find pictures of me at 212 and you won't be able to tell. But in my face, you'll be able to say, damn, bro, you look big. But it was in my face. And I hated the way I looked when I gained weight because my jaw kind of puffs out, you know? I look like Tweety Bird a little bit. That's the way I look. That's why I don't like to gain weight. I look like Tweety Bird. Or Sylvester. Remember what was the guy? Not Sylvester, but the guy that he used to try to chase the rabbit. I forgot his name. Anyway, that's the way I look. But anyway, I started getting back to my workout regimen, and I dropped from 212 to 195. Right now, typically when I fight in these martial arts tournaments, I fight as a middle to heavyweight. I dropped all the way down to, because I still do my martial arts, regardless of my music. People have been trying to get me to stop fighting. They say, Stone, you fighting, you're an older cat. Don't fight, just do weapons and do katas, right? I said, no, I need to fight. I need to know this stuff really work, right? So I like fighting because most of the time in the tournaments, I'm fighting younger guys, like 10, 15 years, 20 years younger than me. Honestly, I'm fighting dudes that's 18 and 19 in their prime. But I noticed that my knees started hurting. I noticed the little things that start happening. So I started working on my diet to get myself back. And I'm even going to call it a diet. Let's stop that. I started working on my eating habits and I put fasting back into my life like I did when we were younger. Our parents had us doing. I went from 212 to 195 and now I'm down to 192. I'm proud of myself. Now, I've never been a big guy, right? That's the biggest I've ever been. And to be in my 50s, being 212 is not bad. That means I was able to maintain my weight through the years. But it's important and imperative for us to maintain our weight. Depending on your height and your age, you should be a certain weight. I don't ever want to be 212 again. The thought of being 212 scares the shit out of me. Once again, I wasn't fat, though. It was all muscle, of course. Because if I was, you'd see stuff hanging. So I've been able to maintain my weight through the years only because I keep a certain regimen. And then I went back implementing my fasting. Like right now, I haven't eaten. I've only been drinking water. I might not eat probably until maybe 2 or 3 o'clock. And I'll eat one time and I'll end my eating around typically maybe no later than 6 o'clock. And that's it. Intermediate fasting for sure helps you because it's biblical, number one. You cleanse your body, and it does so many things with repairing your body. I suggest if you don't know, go do research, and you'll find out how important it is to fast and keep a regimen. The reason Muslims fast, there's a reason. There's a reason that Christians used to fast, especially black people back in the 70s and before then, all the time. It was common for black people in the churches, in the black churches, Methodists and Baptists and Pentecostal to fast. That was normal for people. We've gotten away from that. Auntie Mickey, I got the package today. Auntie Mickey said, I really can't eat much. And one thing, it hurts my stomach. See, that's good because your body you'll never gain much weight, Auntie Mickey. Roberta Lane say, I don't buy in and leave it at the grocery store. I don't buy it and I leave it at, that's smart. You can't buy certain things. Roberta said, I also need labels. I also read labels and watch what they claim is on the ingredients list. I also take longer and I pray and ask God or the Holy Spirit to lead and guide me when I grocery shop. I feel like something is off. Yes, Roberta, you're tapped in. Roberta, let me tell you what has happened to you. You probably already know. No, I'm going to say it if you don't. You have tapped into something. See, fasting also aligns you spiritually. For those of you that don't know, when you fast, you also increase your spiritual awareness. I meditate and chant. People say, oh, you're Buddhist, you meditate to statues. No, I don't. It's a metaphysical thing. You're meditating for a higher frequency. When you also fast, you increase the frequency of your inner spirit and the biological mechanisms that operate within your body. Leanne said, I'm non-dominational and I've always fasted since I was young. It's a way of life is all. Thank you, Leon. Yeah, it's a way of life. And it should be everybody's way of life. Fasting allows you to heal. You will not be sick as much. Try it. Flute Bay say, when I see someone severely overweight, I see someone that lacks discipline, and I cannot fully trust their judgment. Wow, Flute Bay, man, let me share something profound and deep. I'm gonna go back to it. Auntie Mickey says, spiritual lasting is the key. It shouldn't just be losing weight. Deny the body. Shouldn't just be lose weight. Deny the body is to fulfill the spirit. Absolutely. But the Bible does speak of fasting, Auntie Mickey. Flute Bay, let me tell you somebody that told me something. Flute, let me read to you guys what Flute Bay say. He's the second person in my life I've seen say this. Flute Bay say, when I see someone severely overweight, I see someone that lacks discipline and I cannot fully trust their judgment. Now, don't beat up on Flute Bay for saying this. And I'm going to say something, don't beat up on me for saying it. We're not beating up on big people. So, because what I'm about to say, some people might be offended by it. I'm going to share with you something that somebody shared with me. This friend of mine, her name is Marva King, the legendary Marva King. She played Helen in The Diary of a Mad Black Woman. She said a lot of profound things to me that I used to kind of sometimes be upset with her about saying, or I didn't agree with her. But through the years with her saying it to me, she's like a big sister, right? She said to me one time, I'm bouncing off of what Flute Bay said. She said to me, I can't fully trust fat people. Rye said, self-love, mind, body, and soul. Absolutely. So I was offended when she said that to me. Now listen to what I'm saying, please. This is not beating up on my people that's overweight. Remember, I was 212. Yeah, some of y'all might have called that fat, but it was all muscle. I've never been a fat person. But I definitely wasn't where I should have been at that time, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So Marva King says to me, she said, I don't trust fat people. And I was like, huh? And I was like, what do you mean? She said, because they lie. She said, you got to think about it, Stone. And she broke down the analogy to me. And it was similar to what my brother Flute Bay just said. I was still upset with her for a long time until I experienced something. I experienced a situation with 3 or 4 big, well, especially 2 big people that did some real foul ass shit to me. And when I looked at why they did it, it made no sense why they did it. There was really no reason for them to do what they did. And I had to go back to what she said, and it made sense. Then I looked at all of my friends that were similar to these 2 to 3 people, and I went back to review my issues with them in the past, and it was always similar issues, and they all were exactly what Flute Bay said. Now, I'm not beating up on big people. I got big women in my family. But I thought it was interesting that Marva King shared that with me, and I found that to be true, what she said. I found it to be true. Time said, leave them high seasonings alone. Bad food increases diabetes. Absolutely, Time. Thank you, Time. And that's a fact. Y'all hear what Brother Time said. Exno Gear said, laughing out loud. X, no, what you laughing at, fam? I'm just saying, Flute Babe, my brother in here, he just left a comment. I had to agree with him. Dolores said, last month when I went to the doctor, I was 182 pounds, the biggest I've ever been. So I started fasting every morning with water, with lemon and orange in it, and I lost. Congrats, Dolores, congrats. I'm proud of you, Dolores. We have to love ourselves. We don't love ourselves, what's the point? We have to love ourselves. And if we love our kids and our family, we want to be here for them. It starts with health. The Bible does say, for those that believe in the Bible, your body is a temple. So when you abuse your body and you're not healthy, that's actually a sin. Have we all not realized that yet? For my Bible thumpers, do you know that it's a sin to be overweight? How many overweight women in the church? I'm just saying. To my Bible thumpers, y'all got to follow the Bible. Y'all going to follow it. Let's follow it all the way through. Jalen Weaver said, dude, you can tell people to eat healthy without talking down. I'm not talking down on people, Jalen. You can get the fuck up out of my life, Mr. Righteous. Fuck up out of here with your bullshit. Ain't nobody here to hear nothing you got to say, nigga. Because if you're going to understand what I'm saying, you need to understand what was said before you brought your monkey ass up in here, nigga. Excuse me, y'all. Roberta said, 212 is definitely not that. I felt like it was, Roberta. She said, not fat or overweight. When you're taking an increased muscle gain and lean body, check the BMI too. My late husband was a bodybuilder and was 6 foot and weighed 210 pounds, but in shape cut. Yeah, I'm like 5'9", and that was too much for my height. Honestly, Roberta, it was too much for my height. Yeah, it was way too much. This dude gonna come up in here like I'm just in here being mean to people. I'm not being mean to nobody. We're having a conversation. We're having a deep conversation about, as Generation X and OGs, keeping ourselves underweight, and we're talking about mRNA and the meats, and we're having a great conversation. Ain't nobody on here bashing nobody big. Hell, I was big. I got big women in my family. He must be a big motherfucker for him to come in here and talk about I'm bashing people. Do Right by Jesus said, yes, it is a sin. You're absolutely correct. Rye said, oh, now I used to be overweight and had to learn to heal, take control of my health and love my body, not abuse. Facts. Beef said, Paxton, you're a boss. Beef said, don't use the eyes and ears to see and hear, and you will see and hear God. Amen. Beep, amen. I wouldn't call myself a boss, Beep. I appreciate that, Beep, but I don't really call myself a boss. I try to stay away from words that can get caught in the cerebral cortex and make us feel like, we can get on the ego thing. So I appreciate that, but I try to stay away from those words. They scare me. Time said correct. CC, respect. Stay consistent, healthy. Yes, you are 100% correct. Right, fresh ginger, turmeric, garlic, clove, cinnamon, nutmeg, all spices. So awesome. Let me tell you guys something. Shall I give you guys one of my secrets? I'll share with you guys. It's okay. So I was having pain in my arm the last probably 4 or 5 months. No, honestly, I don't even know what it is because I'm always working out. But I was having heavy pain in my rotary cup area. I mean, bad pain where I couldn't even sleep. And I'm going to tell you guys what I did. And this is no joke. So I have this vision, all right, because I was awake when I had it. Real Life said Real Life Chronicles of a Fan Anonymous. Gen Xers. Okay, Real Life is Gen Xer. Yes, yes, yes. That's what I'm talking about. My Gen Xers in the house, man. We're going to keep the flag rolling. Okay, so look. So I was in pain, you guys. This arm here was hurting like crazy. And a lot of people around me was trying to figure out what was wrong with me, but I was trying to hide it. Probably the last 4 months. I was trying to hide the pain. And guess what I did? So I wasn't asleep when I had this vision. I was awake. And something came to me spiritually and said, this is what you need to do, and the pain will stop. God, the spirit, the forces of the universe, which God makes, my spiritual tap in, because I meditate a lot and I fast a lot, it guides you. So something said to me, Stone, this is what I need you to do. And this is no joke. You can ask Cambodian Mystique and Chef Banner. They'll tell you. They're on here. They know I don't lie. I tell both of them about this. I said, I'm in pain. My arm is, they saw me hurting, right? And so something said, Stone. And you got to remember, hear me out before anybody comments on this. Just hear me out. Dolores, you're welcome. When I tell you this pain on a scale of 1 to 10, and 10 being the most painful, it was an 8 every day. Every day for the last 4 months, it was an 8. And I dealt with the pain. Nobody knew I was in pain, having to do this music and then knowing I have to get on stage again. Right? And here it goes. Mama Sean said, please tell us, because I've been dealing with the same thing also for about 4 to 5 months, and they've been trying to run tests to figure out what the heck is going on. Okay, Mama Sean, I'm going to show you what I did. I'm going to go in the kitchen and get it. Maybe I'm not going to show it, but I'll just tell you. That's what I'll do. How about that, Mama Sean and everybody? So I was in pain. And something said to me, Stone, this is what you need to do. Start taking cinnamon. And I heard a voice, take cinnamon. And I was like, what? Thinking it's crazy. I started taking the cinnamon, and not with no water. I just, and swallow it with water. And I took it every day for 3 days. And probably by the 4th day, I had no pain. And I'm not joking with you guys. I'm not making this up. I had no pain. I've not had pain now for a whole month. I've not been in pain. Cinnamon. So then I went to do research. I told Mystique, Cambodian Mystique, and I told Chef Anna. I went and researched it and looked it up, and it said that cinnamon subsides cinnamon subsides inflammation and pain in your body, knee pain, shoulder pains, and all that. I didn't even know that. The universe led me to do this. This is what I mean about fasting and meditation. It increases your wisdom spiritually, and it gives you the things you need. You'll see things, you'll feel things you need to know naturally without even knowing it. I had nobody ever told me that before that, you guys. Mama Sean, go get you some cinnamon. Go get you some cinnamon and take it every day. I just put it in my mouth and I just follow it. I chase it with water. This has worked for me. My pain was an 8 out of 10. I was in pain every day for the last 4 to 5 months, at least 5 months. Pain. I couldn't even lift my arm because it was so painful. When I lay down to sleep, it was painful. And sometimes I would cry myself to sleep because it was that painful. And I didn't want to go to the doctor to have all these tests ran when I physically know my body. And I was like, my body's never done this. My body's never done this. I was like, what's wrong? My body's not. And I was like, maybe because I'm still working out and pushing myself. So I leaned back off of some of the exercises I was doing, right? That helped a little, but I was still having the pain. And it seemed like it was worse at night, like a toothache. It seemed like at night it was way worse than it was in the daytime. I have not had this pain for a whole month. And then I called one of my sisters, and they told me that my mom used to use that when we were little, used to give us that. She used to mix it with honey and this concoction of other stuff she used to make. So you see how your spirit will guide you the right direction? Mama Sean, at night, it made me go to sleep crying. Dolores Draper says, Stone just wants us to know everything that's going on in the world today. We learn. Today we learn. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Dolores. Roberta says, Stone, facts. When I am outside working with my plants and doing yard work, I can clearly hear God and his voice of Holy Spirit that gave me my download out of nowhere. Thank you, Roberta. Thank you so much for that. I love that. Shrine says shoes with adequate arches are vital for leg and back. Yes, they are, Shrine. Facts. The producer's real estate said, I'm about to try the, no, trust me. Now, let me give you guys the specific one I use, okay? Because I don't know if everyone's gonna work. I know that you'll say cinnamon is cinnamon, I get it. But let me give you the one I use, okay? This is the one I use. This is the one that works for me so that you guys don't get it and be like, Stone, it don't work, Stone, it don't work. This is what I use. This one. That's the one, okay? That's the one you want to get. Now, I'm going to put it in the comment section so you can order it right off of this live. That's the one I get. I take this every day. Every day. About to take it right now. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Now taste it now with some water. Mm. Listen, now, today is the first day that I've taken it because I skipped it for I took it for a month. I haven't had no more pain. So I haven't taken it now for about a week or two. Today is the first day I've taken it in a week because I haven't had any pain. So I didn't need to take it. Right? Hold on. Try it. But take it every day. Take it every day just take it for the whole month, right? But you're going to notice a difference in about a week, maybe even 3 days, about 3 days, I think, 3 or 4 days, I notice a difference. And when I tell you it works, it works. All I can tell you is that it worked for me. And I just think that brand, for some reason, or make sure that it's ground cinnamon. Make sure that it's ground cinnamon. I don't know if that brand makes a difference. I just know that's the brand that I use. Make sure it's brown cinnamon. Make sure you chase it with some water right afterwards because it can get rather, chalky on your throat. And take that every day, Mama Sean. Go to the store and get that same one. And then I start making it with when I have apples, I made this little apple turnover thing. I use it. And then Chef Vanna, when she makes some apple stuff, I tell her, can you put the cinnamon in there for me? She'll put it in there when she, brings the food by and stuff. I'll say if she makes dessert, can you put that cinnamon in there? Because I know that I'm on this cinnamon kick. And I even shared it with Cambodian Mystique. Her arm's been hurting. I told her to start. Her shoulder was hurting the same way. I said, start doing the cinnamon. So she started doing it. I don't know how long she's been doing it, but the ground cinnamon, you guys. John Cash said, throw some honey in with it. Yeah. Now, I do that on my bananas in the morning, John. Brother John, I put the cinnamon. And make sure you guys drink water with it. Please. I'm on YouTube doing this. I feel like I'm doing the cinnamon challenge. Y'all remember people was doing that? You guys remember people was doing the that cinnamon challenge? That was crazy. And they were just throwing a whole bunch of cinnamon. You can't play with it because it'll make you do exactly what I'm doing. Dolores said, I had an aunt on my dad's, she was 96 when she passed 7 years ago, and all her house would be All her house, all would be in her house would be mustard. Why do you have mustard all over your house? She told me to help the muscle spasms in our legs. Yeah, mustard helps big time. Mustard is good. I use mustard for my vocals. I'm sorry. I use mustard for my vocal cords too. Time says Stone, I use real cinnamon leaf from back home in Costa Rica. And the actual cinnamon you have to ground, which is fresh cinnamon, clove, nutmeg. I make my allspice out of that. Bro, you know, it's so funny. You remember the cinnamon sticks? I used to get those cinnamon sticks. And ground those. I used to love those cinnamon sticks in high school. Roberta said, be sure to use, I wish people would stop calling me. Roberta said, be sure to not, to use, not, to use what? Not, we call regular cinnamon. Okay, she said, use what we not, she said, be sure to use not what we call regular cinnamon sticks. As they are already, Cassie, the better one I use is Ceylon versions, right? Costco's more. But screenshot that for me, Mystique, what Roberta's saying, because I need to see. She said Ceylon version costs more, but is better. Get the whole stick. Okay, thanks for that, Roberta. I'm going to do that. Can you screenshot that, Mystique, for me, what Roberta said? I'm going to grab that one. Damaged Kisses says, I eat spoons of mustard sometimes when I get body cramps. It works. Yes, it does. Yes, it does, Damaged Kisses. Nat Turner said, get that cinnamon. Time said you have to be consistent with it. I cannot miss a day of not taking the cinnamon or anything that can help the assistance. C is the key, consistency. Time, you're right. Yeah, Time's right, you guys. You got to be consistent with it. Like, don't just take it for 3 days and be like, you good. Be consistent with it. CC, you so funny. I just saw a picture come in, CC. You gotta be, oh, thanks for the screenshot, CC. You gotta be consistent with it, you guys. As for this mRNA in meats, all I can tell you is, Nat said, is this content based on food or health? No, not necessarily. I was basically, the mRNA, I was talking about the mRNA in the meats, Nat. So I guess this conversation would be just random on, we're just talking about health, I guess. Just, we're just talking about taking care of ourselves, you know what I'm saying? As older, Generation X, older folks, taking care of ourselves, continuously looking young, working out, eating right, meditation, fasting. Chad Coffee said, Cinnamon said, Signature Kitchen. The Cinnamon said, Signature, yes. Yes, yes. Nat, I appreciate you, family, for subscribing. Time said lemongrass is, yes, man, Time, listen. The family, we grew lemongrass on the farm. And everything that was eaten was consumed with lemongrass, even to now. Lemongrass is consumed in the food all the time. Damaged Kisses said, I had some tea the other day that had turmeric, cinnamon, hot honey, orange, and it helped my, ooh, that sounds good. And don't forget, you guys, if you're using tea bags, cut your tea bag and dump the herbs inside of your cup. Don't drink with that tea bag. Those has those little mini micro plastic things that get caught into your body, man. Like, we have to be more conscious. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, cut your tea bag and just use the herbs in it. Heat it in the cup, and even if you drink some of it, no big deal. But don't drink it with that's microplastic. Those tea bags are microplastic bags. You might not know that. Time said, I used to use those cinnamon sticks to make my cream of wheat, and oatmeal. My flavoring up up the water with vanilla. Ooh, you just made me excited. Cream of wheat used to be my favorite time. Now you're going to make me go to the store and buy a whole bunch of cream of wheat. Brother David Grant, welcome, family. Thank you for stopping in. We were talking about the mRNA and the meats, man, that they're saying that, you know, I saw this thing on Instagram and they were talking about be careful with eating the meats. There was mRNA in the meats and they were injecting the meats. But then when I went to read, it said that it hadn't been implemented in the US, but yet within the article, then it said, but if humans eat it, it only lasts in the animal's body for 20 years. It's just a contradiction. The whole article was a contradiction. So I had to read it and just bring people up to speed with it, you know. We have to be conscious of what we're putting in our bodies. Time said, you're absolutely right. Now I use cinnamon leaf to put in my oatmeal and cream. Oh, my God. Cream of wheat, I love it. Listen, you guys, Stone Paxton Music Alive. I got to go. I'm going to get on here tomorrow. Might get on here tonight. Who knows? But you'll see me at 11 a.m. tomorrow. And Friday is that interview with Drayton Boss from the group As Yet. I need y'all here. And for all those that have donated, thank you. That's saying you appreciate my time. You know that it takes time for me to do this. I'm not on the couch with the lights. This is all organic, just me talking to you. But I appreciate you implementing the love by coming to the channel, subscribing. Make sure you donate so you can keep this channel. I don't care if you're giving $1. Show that love, man. That's how we keep it going. Stone Paxton Music and Life. I'll catch you mañana, okay? That means tomorrow for those of you that don't know. I'm sure you do. Anyway, catch you tomorrow. Same time, 11 a.m. Peace and love. To my peeps, stay healthy, stay strong, man. Stay sharp, and let's go. Generation X.